At the beginning of this year, I set a goal to make about $100,000 a month. Really, the goal is to make $1 million this year. The thing about it is that so many things have randomly fallen into place, and so many things have just kind of given me these lights at the end of the tunnel that say, like, you're on the right path. You know, you might be far, you might not see it yet, but there's glimmers of hope. And I've been hit with a number of those over the last 30 or so days. It's the end of January, so I'm kind of counting like the couple weeks before New Year's as well. And I'm going to explain exactly what I'm doing to get to $100,000 a month and how I'm going to make that $1 million this year. But just for a little bit of context, right? When I quit my job, I left corporate almost 2 years ago now. My main motive was that I wanted to be able to look back year over year and go, I did that shit because I wanted to. I had the freedom to go do something, and so I did that. And the last couple weeks, I mean, really the last month since Christmas, I've been skiing a lot. My buddy told me he was doing a trip to Canada. He was doing a road trip up, and he was going to hit a couple mountains. I called him and told him, if I fly into Washington, can you pick me up and we'll just go and rip it together? We did exactly that. It was epic. Went and spent some time in one of the coolest ski towns I've ever been to, and just an epic trip all around. Then afterwards, I had another group of friends, and we did our yearly ski trip in Tahoe. I stayed a couple extra days, and then we did another group ski trip in Mammoth, which was amazing. As corny as it sounds, that was probably the first one of those glimmers. I'm not just say the first, but it was one of those times where I truly feel like grateful, like gratitude, like fuck yeah, like I act like I'm doing this because I want to, right? If I was doing this and I was in corporate, I would have felt beholden. I got to get back on Tuesday to be ready for work, for blah blah blah. I went because I wanted to and because I can make that call for myself. Fucking love that. Inject that in my veins. That's why I left, because I wanted to be able to make that call for myself every single day. And there's the other side of that too. I mean, I am also I've been sick the last 2 or 3 days. I couldn't get out of bed yesterday, and I'm finally feeling a little bit more on the mend. But the business doesn't stop. I'm still accountable to people. I'm still accountable to clients. I still have to respond to people, right? I'm still building here. Yeah, I can go and leave whenever I want, but I'm also responsible all the time. So I get to be responsible for my freedom and my ability to go and do whatever, and my trips and my free time, but I'm also responsible for making sure nothing falls apart while I do all that stuff. Luckily, I have great partners. I've got good support. You never really enjoy it though. I think any entrepreneur will tell you, you take time off and your head's still kind of in the business, and you come back and you feel a little bit like you neglected it. It's your kid, and you didn't kill it, but you could have been there, right? You could have been there a little bit more. That's how it felt, but I don't regret it. The reason I did this is so that I could experience more life. And so I'm constantly making that choice every single time I have the option to, is make time for life. And I want to share some of the stuff that I'm doing to get to that $1 million year. And also, I just think it's insane that everybody's path is different, right? No, you're not going to be able to watch my videos and be able to, copy exactly what I did. And, I used to look at other people's videos and try to copy exactly what they did. And you can kind of get it directionally right sometimes not at all, because your path's just going to be different. But my businesses are all built over email. Everything is built over email. The deals are signed over email. Sometimes my service delivery is email. A lot of times prospecting is email. Like, some people, they make their business is Instagram, right? My editor, I was talking to him and he was saying that I've never closed a deal over email. Like, it's all in Instagram DMs, which is, almost the reverse for me. I've closed maybe 1 or 2 deals over Instagram or TikTok, but it's like all email otherwise. And people just kind of carve these lanes out. There's just different worlds that we operate in. It's just, I don't know, I just think it's insane. We've had an insane month, I'd say. I set a couple goals and I broke it up month by month to get us to that $1 million mark at the end of the year. And in a lot of ways, we're behind, right? Certain things didn't pan out the way they were supposed to, but also in other ways, we're way ahead too. The email marketing agency, for example, we work with some awesome brands, the fastest growing men's activewear brand in the country, at least, perhaps the world. A number of celebrity brands. We've got interest from international brands that are fast growing. We're delivering for each of them, and we intend to keep it that way. And because we're growing so fast, I've had to pause on my other business, the advisory business, and in the marketing for it. I've just focused on the clients that I have and fulfilling for them. And we're just starting to ramp up marketing again, but it's exciting. So we're further ahead in one, but we're a little bit behind in the other for that reason. We were supposed to double our clientele kind of over this quarter in the email marketing business, the agency. We're going to do that probably in the next week. It's the end of January right now. The advisory business, obviously, we wanted to sign a bunch more clients than we did. That's going to take a little bit longer, but totally worth it. And it's actually made me rethink our strategy in a way that I think is going to be way more profitable for the business. And yeah, there's a number of things that I've just kept in the forefront as I'm kind of going through this, and I'll just share it with you. A couple of the 3 things really that I'm doing that have been my biggest learnings for this last month, that kind of no matter where you are in the business, or really if you're kind of just past that 1 mark, if you're going from 0 to 1, if you're at 1, These are going to resonate with you. And maybe you'll just find them interesting so that you recognize it when you get to one. The first thing is that every day I have to wake up and I need to decide what I'm doing for that day. I need to decide how I'm steering the ship. It sounds like stupid, make a to-do list, but really it's about taking a look at my yearly goals, taking a look at for how that translates into my month, and then deciding, okay, today, what needs to get done this week? What do I need to do to make sure that we hit that weekly goal, hit that monthly goal, that hits that yearly goal? And I need to just have that in my forefront. I need to do that every single fucking day. The days that I don't are the days that I wake up and I just start responding to things, and then I'm email, meeting, and I'm just working in the business. I have no time to work on the business. And you're not steering the ship when you're doing that. You're just bailing water out of the ship. That's a bad place to be. Having that at the forefront, knowing that every day, no matter what, there's one, maybe two things that I'm getting done non-negotiable today. Those are my most productive days, and those are the days that are the real needle movers, are just getting the one or two really big things done instead of all the millions of tiny little things. The second thing, and this is maybe just a personal thing, but I've noticed it, but oftentimes in transition between things, right? You finish a meeting, first thing you do is you pick up, you check your phone, you start looking at other tasks, right? Email that came in, responding to a Slack message, and you immediately take your focus off of the thing that you just spent 30, 45 minutes focusing on. You need to capitalize for when you're focused. If you are doing a task for 30 minutes, you get off a call, you finish up a sync up, you have a couple action items, don't reach for your phone. Don't go and respond to Slack messages or emails or pick up a phone call. Just take a minute and just do the things that you were supposed to do from that call. For me, it was putting together scopes of work after sales calls. It was assigning tasks and giving briefs to the other team so I'm not the bottleneck. It could be reviews. It could be literally anything that is coming off that call. If I do that, there is hours of my day that I get back. Capitalize on that momentum of focus and do it right after you finish that call. It just makes everything easier. And the third thing is hiring. Honestly, I'm a great operator. I know I know this. I've been told this. It was what I did back in corporate. It dictated a lot of the roles that I got. It dictated the reason that I got put into the organizations and the teams that I was in back in corporate. And, you know, I think that a lot of where I've been able to get to for my businesses is just based on just kind of that. I can kind of just work any part of the business myself. But the problem with that is that oftentimes because I can do it myself, I leave it for myself to do. And I can't do fucking everything. What I'm realizing now is that the way to do it is, obviously in the beginning, I think that everybody does everything, or that one person will probably do everything, and then you slowly give more and more bits of that off so that other people can manage it. But I need to be more comfortable giving away those parts of the business, those responsibilities, because there is no way that I can scale without it. Frankly, I want to find people that are better than me in a bunch of the different aspects of the email marketing agency. And we just made a really crucial hire for that. And I'm excited about seeing where that goes. And then also, if I'm to scale the things I'm the best at, for example, marketing copy or positioning or the sales calls in, my other businesses, then I need to give away my responsibility and attention for these other pieces of the business to people that can carry that torch for me. And thankfully I have a great partner in the email marketing agency that helps with a lot of that. But in the advisory business, I'm starting to find this too. There's two things really. It's either get help or make the help. And so we're exploring new roles, and we're also exploring, as corny as it sounds, AI generated tools, right? Everybody's doing it, but literally, I mean, how can I make these things that are taking me an hour, 2 hours, a couple minutes and maybe some hours spent on a tool that can spin this all up? That's going to be different for everyone. Those three things have been the most crucial learnings and I don't really think that those priorities are ever really going to change, right? You need to be focused. You need to keep your momentum, and you do need to hire out from under you when the business is getting too big, because you don't want to be the reason the business fails. If I go down and I'm sick and everything hinges on me, that's not a good place to be, right? You need to build systems around you and SOPs. And I'm proud of what we're doing in a lot of these businesses and creating that kind of just culture of, frankly, documenting shit. Last thing I'll say, there's a couple times in my life I can say that I've felt grateful. People always tell you, like, meditate on it and like feel the feeling of being grateful. And I never really understood any of that. And I never really felt that way. And I can only really point to like 2 times ever that I've had this like feeling of like gratitude wash over me. It was a feeling of like, I don't want for anything right now. I'm happy with everything that I've got. I kind of had a couple flashes of that. And I said it before at the beginning of this, but just making the decision, and it's such a small thing, but making the decision to stick around in Tahoe for a couple extra days because I wanted to ski more, that I think meant a lot to like the inner child in me. That wanted to do this for whatever reason, whatever compelled me and has compelled me to say, like, I'm not really fucking with this whole corporate thing. I want to build a life on my own. That felt good. That scratched that itch for that version of me. And I heard a quote that said, live your life in a way such that you're making two people proud, the 8-year-old version of you and the 80-year-old version of you. And I think that both of those versions of me would be proud at taking that bit of life and living it that way. So I felt that flash of gratitude then. Obviously there's always work to be done. It's fun building stuff, but never take your eye off the ball. The point is not just to build, it's to build and to enjoy the fruits of those labors too. I'll probably do this at least once a month. Maybe a little bit more often, the more that I have things to update on and, tips to share, but just stoked to be here, stoked to be sharing this with you guys. And for anyone watching, still watching, much love and always here for you. DM me if you have any questions.